4-0, the Nats kept fighting and put themselves in position to win it in the bottom of the ninth. Zimmerman, that's a fair ball. Over. Nationals win 8-4. Stay tuned for more surprises and maybe even a passing shower. It takes something to beat the Phillies when they're on the road. Even with last night's loss, Philadelphia has won 11 of the last 13 on the road. And on Ian Desmond bobblehead night, why not the Nats go 12 over, 500 at home? They're 35-24 here. Bob and FP, hard to match or surpass what we saw here last night. And FP, not often you go into the bottom of the ninth losing by a couple of runs, and then you win by almost a handful.
Well, you just kind of had a feel that they were in this ball game. They've done it all season long. The Phillies scored 4 runs in the third inning, just sat on it. All of a sudden, it started with Jason Worth, an 11-pitch at-bat off Brian Matson, and ended up with a single. Then the no-doubles defense allowed the Espinoza blooper to fall. The no-doubles defense right there allowed Johnny Gomes to get a base hit through the 5.5 hole. Ian Desmond's fired up. He thinks he just won the game, but he tied it and set the stage for the big guy. Zimmerman comes up there, his 8th walk-off home run of his career. Guys playing the big leagues for 10 years and don't have 8 walk-off hits. That's his 8th walk-off home run. 2 game-ending grand slams. The last one was on May 13th, 2007, Mother's Day. Last night's holiday, Victory Day in Turkey.
And by the way, Ryan Zimmerman, as far as we know, is the only guy to hit 2 walk-off grand slams on the day after the game actually started. So John Lannon gets the mound tonight. Wee hours fun last night, and it's Lannon over his last 15 starts, 6-3 with a 2.65 ERA. He wins tonight. He'll have a winning record. John 8-8 going in. Brought to you by AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. We are talking serious atmosphere in the ballpark tonight. Thousands of Philly fans are here. The Nats just got booed when they took the field by those folks, and that's fine with us because after last night, they should boo our ball club for breaking their hearts. Visit train.com for an independent Train comfort specialist dealer near you. Hard to stop a train. 85 degrees at the ballpark. Not as muggy as it was this afternoon. It was steamy all day in D.C. Perfect baseball weather. Phillies have Victorino back in the lineup tonight. And against the Nats, hitting over 280, couple of doubles, a homer. He's on a 7-game hitting streak, and he has 10 career hits, a homer and 3 RBIs against John Lannan. So Raul Ibanez, the only Phillies regular out of there tonight. Lannan facing Jimmy Rollins. John's ready and Jimmy Rollins is ready. We'll get to FP's scouting report on the pitcher in a moment. Lannan slows it down for Desmond. 1 pitch, 1 out. Underway right on time, 7:05.
Let's set the defense tonight for the Washington Nationals behind John Lannan. Nick Sankiel and Worth in the outfield. Desmond and last night's hero Ryan Zimmerman on the left side. Espinosa and Morrison. Wilson Ramos back in the squad. John Lannan takes the mound tonight. It's a rematch of last Saturday night. Lannan versus Oswalt. Went just 3 innings last Saturday. Allowed 7 runs on 4 hits. Of those 7 runs, only 1 was earned. He walked 5 and struck out 1.
And of course, that was coming off of John's victory over the Phillies back in June on a getaway day here. And John gets a strike to Shane Victorino. From the right side, hitting .368. 7th in the league with a .314 batting average. And he also has an on-base percentage of .391. When he's been healthy this year, it's been one of Shane Victorino's best seasons ever. But he's missed the equivalent of about 30 ball games this year. Utley and Howard behind Victorino if they can keep things going here in the first. And Lannan on the 0-2 gets a fly ball to right center. Rick Ankiel cruising to it. 2 outs.
And last time out, last Saturday night, John Lannan had a tough outing, but there was one bright spot. One of the best plays you'll ever see. A little chopper off the bat of Wilson Valdez coming down the line. The ball had some funky spin on it. A little glove flip to Wilson Ramos. And it gets Ryan Howard by just a hair. Good adjustment by Ramos. Great play by John Lannan. But we'll keep an eye on him tonight because he jacked up his knee a little bit on that play. So he's had a tender knee. Through his side work a couple of days ago, everything went well. Well, that was a great play. It definitely affected him the rest of that outing.
Here's Chase Utley. 1 for 4 with an RBI double last night. 12 for 30 career against Lannan. 2 homers, 6 RBIs. John comes out throwing strikes. Counts 1-1. The crew chief has the plate tonight. 26-year veteran Dale Scott. Jerry Meals, first base. C.B. Buckner at second. Dan Isanya at third. By the way, the Nats reached a bit of a milestone last night from a team standpoint. We'll tell you about as we go along here with their 60th win of the year. That ball is swung on and foul tipped, and that hurts Wilson Ramos. And now Dale Scott will take a stroll and give him a little time. Nationals won their 60th game of the year last night. And on August 19th, down through the 7 years in their history, it's the 2nd most wins they've ever had at this stage of a season. They had 64 at that point in 05, on their way to 81, but they had never had on August 19th in other years more than 55 wins. So they've got a good pace going now. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Lannan off to a good start tonight. Oswalt against the Nats next. in the ballpark tonight. And here's the Nats lineup. Michael Morris against the Phillies, hitting nearly 400 this year. His .319 batting average is 5th best in the league. And he's 3 for 9 career against Roy Oswalt. Pretty much the regular guys out there, although Lance Nix gets the start against the right-hander. And you might notice Jason Worth batting 6th, Danny Espinosa in the 7th spot ahead of Wilson Ramos. Worth, for the most part, has been batting 5th lately. And here's Roy Oswalt, who matches up against John Lannon for the 3rd time. The Nats beat Oswalt in that Lannon game back in June, 2-1.
His last start was a week ago Saturday night in Philadelphia against the Nats.
Ian Desmond goes up ripping, and that looks good if it stays fair. It'll just be foul down the right field line.
We're talking about last Saturday night for Roy Oswalt. After a 5-run third by Philadelphia, he had a 7-2 lead. He put it in cruise control. Retired 9 of the next 10 batters he faced. All in all, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Fastball, slider, curve change from Oswalt.
He'll be 34 in 9 days. 155 career wins, and that fastball whistles inside. Ian Desmond 8 for 26 over the last 7 games and 2 hits, 2 RBIs last night. He's got that right field thing on his mind. This one hanging up, though, for Hunter Pence.
Defense tonight for the Philadelphia Phillies behind Roy Oswalt. Mayberry, Victorino, and Pence in the outfield. Rollins and Valdez on the left side. Utley and Howard on the right side. And once again in the spot, Carlos Ruiz.
Phillies have the fewest errors in baseball. Ruiz only 2 behind the plate this year. Phillies have made only 54 errors. Tampa Bay leads the American League at 55. So they've got the best pitching in baseball, the best defense from a numbers standpoint. Maybe not the formidable offensive ball club they have been in recent years, but they can explode on you at any time. The Phillies are a complete baseball team, and they have a good bench as well. But guess who has the season series, at least on this field? The Nats have beaten the Phillies 4 out of 7 here, including the last 3 in a row. Ankiel out of play, count stays 0-2. Phillies lead the overall season series 7-5. Last night's, or this morning's, hero on deck.
And not too many times do you have a chance to beat the Philadelphia Phillies twice in the same day.
By the way, that home run last night was an hour and 17 minutes earlier than Zimmerman's previous in the morning career walk-off grand slam. Years and years ago, 06 at RFK against the Marlins. Some guys just have a knack for the dramatic. Slow the game down, get a good pitch they can drive. Ankiel strikes out on that one, up and away. Never get tired of looking at this.
Had a big light last night on both sides of the baseball. Defense all over the place. The diving play in the hole, selling out. A couple other nifty plays on slow rollers too. So doing it with the leather and the lumber. The 3-2 fastball rode it out of the ballpark, and I think we were all thinking something good was going to happen when he missed with the 2-2 change. He knew he had to come fastball with the game on the line. Ryan Zimmerman knew it. We knew it. And that's his 8th walk-off home run of his career.
And you know what I noticed when he just got introduced? Even the Philly fans have a hard time booing a nice guy like Ryan Zimmerman. He's hit safely in 24 of his last 25 games. 396 over that time. Base hit. Pitch him away, he'll take the single. Give him something to drive, he'll do you damage. And Zimmerman now, who came in batting .302, just keeps on climbing.
26 games in a row he's reached first base. And when you're hot, you're hot. If they throw you in, you pull the baseball. They throw you away, you go the other way. You stay through the off speed. It just amazes me to watch Ryan Zimmerman swing every night. A big leg kick like that, and his head stays perfectly still. Sometimes guys with those big leg kicks, their head's all over the place, but he is perfected the art of the huge leg kick, putting the foot right back down where it was and keeping the head frozen.
Michael Moore sitting 319. The Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Summer Clearance Event. They bring you our Exmo. These offers won't last long. Hurry into your local dealership. He drives this one to the right field corner. That'll take a hop. Deadened up against the wall. Zimmerman held by Bo Porter. Second and third, 2 outs. Some great opposite field hitting by the big guns.
30th double of the year for the Beast. And it didn't take him long to join the party once again. Sat out last night with a little elbow issue. Back in the lineup tonight. And driving the ball down the corner. I thought when it hit the grass and stayed in the ballpark, the Nats had a chance to score a run. But a good job by Bo Porter holding Ryan Zimmerman. He would have been out by about 5 feet. As we look at the swing once again from Michael Morse. Just having one of those years. Everything is going right.
And now you have the left-hander against Oswalt. Now keep in mind, Roy Oswalt has a very good breaking ball. And right-handers have used that pitch to neutralize Lance Nix this year. Such a good fastball hitter. That was a first pitch changeup.
Yeah, because of the back issues Roy Oswalt has had this season, he's gone to the changeup a lot more. Remember in the past, it was a pretty crispy fastball, mid-90s, and he would throw that curveball where he would add and subtract the speeds to the curveball. Throw some in the 70s, even some in the 60s, and now it's pretty much fastball change from Oswalt.
And the 0-1 coming to Nix, who's hit 14 homers, driven in 40. Late for that one. These two have met in this ballpark before this year. And the Nats trying to beat Oswalt again.
After walking the Phillies off last night, you score 2 in the first. It's huge the next night.
Yeah. I like this. It's coming again. It's coming again.
That's a swing, says Dan Isanya. Lance Nix and the Nats are gone in the bottom of the first. Couple of hits and 2 men stranded. And tomorrow's the 3rd game of the series. 135 in the first 10,000 fans, 12 and under, will receive a Masson and DC-50 kids duffel bag. It's a great looking navy blue item with red and white trim. Starting at $10, a lot of the tickets for tomorrow. Go to nationals.com/tickets. We told you about the strike throwing of John Lannon. Same for Oswalt so far.
Yeah, I talked to Steve McCaddy today, and he said he talked to John Lannon. He just wants him to go out there and be fearless tonight, have a little edge to him, and attack the Phillies hitters. He's going to be reading swings, but A lot of fastballs, be very aggressive in the zone.
Well, and if you don't go on the attack FP and fall behind these guys, you have doubled your problems against this lineup.
He just wants them to have that edge. And go out there and be mean. Don't think about anything. Get the fastball and just challenge these guys.
Good breaking ball. Howard made an offer and held the bat back. 1 ball, 1 strike. John Lannon facing Ryan Howard 35 times in their careers. Ryan has 9 hits, 3 homers, 8 RBIs. That is unreachable. Strike 2.
You see the defense for Ryan Howard coming up. The old wishbone defense. Danny Espinosa back here playing a deep right field. And it seems like when he gets ground balls from Ryan Howard way out there, he's got to rush his throw. It's a long throw from where he's standing.
That's ball 3. More hits than you might think to the opposite field, and a number of them go out of the ballpark.
Well, you see the outfield, they're shading him opposite. Infield to pull, opposite field for the outfield.
Close, but ball 4, a little low, and the Phillies have their first base runner. Call Luna for up to 70% off all flooring. Shop Smart, shop Luna at 877-241 Luna. Highest batting average since the 1st of May. And 3 of the principals in the ballpark tonight, right in the thick of things.
If Michael Morse would have had a good April, he'd be hitting 400.
All right, I'm going to go to May 1st. See what Michael Morse was hitting when the Nats took the field at home against the Giants. He was actually not in the lineup that night. And the previous night he'd gone 0 for 3, so he was hitting under 220 the first month of the season. And then soon thereafter, Adam LaRoche was hurt. Michael Morse took over at first base. And it's almost as if he was dubbed an everyday guy, hitting and playing good defense on that infield. That's inside, almost hit Hunter Pence. And the count goes to 1-1. Pence is hitting, by the way, 328 FP for the Phillies and 311 overall.
Morse was 15 for 71 in April. 211.
Wow.
Then 403, 299, 344, and 357.
Pence will drive it right field. Worth going right to the edge of the track for it. Jason playing rather deep, made it look easy. 1 out. Both ball clubs taking some pretty good swings to the opposite field early here.
And we talked about it last night. That play that Jason Worth made in the 3rd inning when he threw out Ibanez at home plate, I thought was a very critical point in that game. And it looked like the Phillies would never make it out again. They had 7 straight hits in that inning, scored 4 runs, and all of a sudden Juan Samuel decided to send him, and he was out by a lot. And even with the pitcher coming up, Kyle Kendrick's a good hitting pitcher. You know, he hits in the middle 200s. He just felt like that inning wasn't going to end. So besides cutting down the run at home plate with that throw, Jason Worth stopped the bleeding. Big play in that game.
And on that play, gathered his 9th assist of the year. This is John Mayberry, the left fielder. He played center field last night. Had a walk and went 1 for 3 with a triple and an RBI. He's a big rangy guy. It's 6'6", 219. And he really gets his upper body out near that inside corner of the plate when he sets up his stance. His dad, Big John of the Royals, was a big, strong left-handed batter. Pretty good looking pitch. He doesn't get the call. 2-1. Phillies are 80-43. 7.5 up on Atlanta. They're just underway at home, trailing Arizona by a run. And the Nats are 60-63. Winning 7 of their last 9 on this field. Howard with a short lead. And that'll fill the count, 3-2.
Saw a lot of playoff games last October in San Francisco, and I'll tell you what, this ballpark tonight has some kind of playoff atmosphere. And ever since batting practice today, the crowd filing in. You can see them lining up around the corner to get into this place. And this place has been jumping since about 3 o'clock.
11 over at home, 4 runs a game, and a good ERA. And that's up and in. John Lennon threw a 3-2 changeup. Maybe somewhere between the straight change and the regular fastball. And now 2 walks with Carlos Ruiz, a clutch hitter, coming in.
Well, that was the problem for John Lannon last Saturday night. He walked 5 Phillies. A couple of errors behind him to start some rallies up for the Phillies. So the last thing you want to do to a team that can swing the bat like these guys is put base runners on for free.
All right, so let's talk clutch here. Zimmerman, of course, that kind of guy. Ruiz, that kind of guy. What is different about these kind of hitters, FP, that makes them deliver with men on base in crucial situations? They're going to have to hold Howard, bases loaded.
Well, I think Zim said it in the paper today. The pressure's on the pitcher. We talk about that all the time. You can see there's certain guys in baseball, when they get up in big situations, they act like the pressure's on them. The clutch guys like Ryan Zimmerman know that the pressure's on the pitcher. And that was his quote, the pressure's on him, man. He said it in the paper today. He knew that he had to get a fastball last night in a big situation. And when you have successes in those situations throughout your career, it's not that big a deal anymore. For guys that get up once in a while in those big situations, sometimes they press, but when you've been there, done it, and walked people off before, it's not a big deal. You slow the game down.
Here's Wilson Valdez hitting just .238. He's hit into 7 double plays this year. 33-year-old journeyman infielder. The Nats are playing back early in the ball game for a double play here. You have to. And the pitcher's on deck. The count becomes very important here, because if John Lannon, even without a double play, can retire this batter, he still has a great opportunity to escape this jam.
Oswald can hit, though. Handle the bat.
Ryan Howard walked to lead off the inning. He's stationed over at third base. And after Hunter Pence lined out, Mayberry walked, and then Ruiz got the base hit that loaded things up. Target in.
And this becomes a big pitch early in this ballgame.
Breaking ball. Zimmerman to the bag, and then a tag at home. That's a 5-2 inning ending double play.
You got to slide at home plate.
How about that for poise?
No score, bottom of the second. Let's check out that double play one more time. John Lannon early in this ball game had to make a pitch, and he did. Just a little 83-mile-an-hour curveball to Valdez. He rolls over it. Ryan Zimmerman at third base steps on the bag. Now the force plays off. You got to tag the runner at home. Good heads up by Wilson Ramos, knowing that. And if you watch Roy Oswalt in the on-deck circle, he just stood there. When you're on deck, you got to come home in direct traffic and tell somebody to slide.
You might have heard the reaction in the ballpark for the announcement of Jason Worth. Jason got the base hit that started the big rally in the 9th inning last night, going 1 for 4.
It's funny, all the Philly fans come down to watch these games, and every time Jason Worth comes up, they boo him. What they don't realize is they're still paying Jason Worth.
Are they?
They're coming in the ballpark, paying for their tickets, booing Jason Worth, but paying him at the same time.
That's good. 6 for 23 career against Oswalt, and that's on the inside corner. Oswalt, 15 pitches, first inning, 13 strikes. And Roy Oswalt's a guy who loves the big stage. Some of the best pitching I've ever seen in the big leagues was in the 05 playoffs, when in the league championship series he went 2-0 with a 1.29 ERA. Beat St. Louis twice to put the Astros in their only World Series. He was the MVP of that series. And then traded with money for 2 players, including J.A. Happ, to the Phillies on July 29th last year. And a 2-2 now to Jason Worth. He drills it to center. Victorino right there. Danny Espinosa, Wilson Ramos the next 2. We've already had some great contributions to our back-to-school drive this weekend here at the ballpark. It's presented by PNC Bank. And when you come to the game tomorrow, bring school supplies to benefit all the kids in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia in our public schools. Nationals.com/tickets. Some restrictions apply. There are large bins throughout the ballpark, especially out there at the center field area where you can drop your notebooks. We saw bottles of glue. We saw pencils and pens and tablets of paper. We appreciate what you folks are doing to help our kids here in the D.C. area. Danny Espinosa, 2 for 10 career against Oswalt. Had a walk and a base hit last night.
His base hit in the 9th kept the line moving. Pretty good changeup from Madsen. He stayed on it. Phillies playing no doubles defense in the outfield. They were very deep. And a 2-strike count. Espinosa did a nice job of putting the ball in play and getting on base. I think that whole thing started last night with Jason Worth. His best at-bat as a National. 11-pitch battle. Lined that base hit into left field. And after that, it was game on.
Roy Oswalt, career against the Nats. And this goes back to the Montreal days. 19 games, 17 starts. He's won 6, lost 4 with a 3.17 ERA. Target outside corner. Espinosa late for it. Oswalt's 3rd strikeout. 2 down here in the 2nd. How about the Nats catchers platooning the way to some home runs here?
Jesus Flores got the nod the other night, and that was one of those games when whoever scores first wins, and that was the first run of the ball game. High off range from Bronson Arroyo, got on top of it, rode it out into the bullpen. It was a humid night, so you knew that ball was hit if it got out. And last night, Wilson Ramos says, anything you can do, I can do better. Hit it almost in the same spot. And look at the 2 guys having fun. Kind of feeding off each other.
And the first Nationals catcher with 10 home runs since Brian Schneider had 10 with 44 RBIs back in 05. Brian, of course, in the ballpark Here's Ramos hitting an even 250 and 320 over his last 14 games. Oswalt pours in the fastball at 92 and the count's even.
And don't forget about Pudge. He's been working hard trying to get back too. He's sitting on the back of the cage today. I walked up to the cage. He said, FP, do you know how many home runs the first two groups have hit? And I said, Pudge, I have no idea. He said, 58. So when you're on the DL and you're bored, that's what you do. You stand behind the cage and count home runs. So the first two groups for the Nationals today hit 58 home runs, according to Pudge.
After games start, our catchers have hit 13 on the year.
But that's a lot of taters for two groups. And how groups work in batting practice, usually the first four hitters will hit the first group. So Desmond, Ankiel, Zimmerman, and Morse. And then the next four hitters will hit the next group. So when you talk about the 8 hitters in the lineup today, 58 taters in BP.
A slow punch out by Dale Scott. And Wilson Ramos walks away. Oswalt with a couple of strikeouts this inning, 4 in the game, no score. Let's talk about Derek Norris, the young man from Goddard, Kansas. 4th rounder for the Nats back in 07. That's our PNC Minor League Report Solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. PNC for the achiever in you. What do you like about some of those numbers? I like the ops.
I like the home runs, 18 jacks. And we saw him in spring training. Very short, compact swing, a lot of pop.
And he's still only 22 years of age.
You just talk about the minor league system in general right now. They are getting the job done. 4 or 5 teams heading for the playoffs right now. Everybody getting ready for instructional league after the playoffs. Go down to Florida for a couple of weeks, work on your swing, work on your mechanics, then head out to play winter ball. A lot of good things going on in this organization as a whole right now.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Some of the guys who get drafted out of high school, seems like they've been around forever. Are they going to make it to the major leagues? Then you look up their bio again, and they're only 22 years of age. There's Oswalt, right side, backhand. Michael Morse, well done for the first out. Roy Oswalt's a very good athlete, and Michael Morse has turned into a very good first baseman.
Now, Michael Morse had the day off yesterday. You know what he did during batting practice? He couldn't hit. He took ground balls at second, took ground balls at short. He was turning double plays in both places, and I'll tell you what, he could play shortstop, and we've taken his defense for granted at first base. Unbelievable since they put him over there. But if you were here yesterday during batting practice and you watched that guy take ground balls at shortstop and you didn't know who he was, you'd say, wow, the Nats have a really good shortstop. And he's big, too.
Top of the order, Jimmy Rollins on the first pitch of the game. Shot one through the middle, and John Lennon got a piece of it, deflecting it to Desmond. And quickly 0-2.
I'm talking all the plays, too. He's going the whole backhand, throwing across the field, tremendous arm strength, and the way he was turning double plays from second base, it's like he's a second baseman.
Target in. Jimmy Rollins having a solid, not spectacular season, but he does have 56 RBIs, a lot for a leadoff man. Hitting .267 coming in. On base percentage around .340, and that ball extremely hard hit into left field. Phillies have their second base hit. Let's have a look at the Xfinity schedule. Tomorrow, DC 50 joins us, and on the mound for the Nats, Chien-Ming Wang, Roy Halladay, 11-1 against the Montreal Washington franchise for the Phillies. Catch all the action with Arizona coming in, only from Comcast. Get your home in order for the most live sports. Get Xfinity at 1-800-XFINITY, only from Comcast.
A lot of guys looking forward to seeing Jason Marquis. I texted him the other day when he broke his leg in Arizona, told him to hang in there. That was a tough break. Literally, a line drive right off his shin. And he is out for the season, but he said he's going to be back. So we're looking forward to saying hi to Jason Marquis.
Shane Victorino flied to center first time. Big slow curveball. By the way, the Nats get a little help from the Milwaukee Brewers again today. Although Milwaukee led 7-1 at New York, and then they had to score 4 in the ninth to beat the Mets 11-9. Ryan Braun his 24th, Prince Fielder his 28th. Right now the Nats are a full game ahead of the Mets with that loss, and maybe could go up a game and a half with a win here tonight. And Victorino continues to be well out ahead of everything John Lennon throws.
Good effort by the ball girl down the left field line.
She's busy right now.
She is hustling right after that baseball.
Target in on 0-2. Rollins, good jump. And Victorino, a fly ball to left. It'll back up Lance Nix. He's right there for the second out.
And Jimmy Rollins had to hustle back. He forgot to re-tag second base. When you go around the base as a runner, you have to come back and tag it again, going back to first base. And I think looking at the fly ball, he missed it. So then he had to go back 3 or 4 steps, tag it again, and sprint all the way back to first.
There's the pride of George Washington University tutoring him, Sam Perlazzo. And here is Chase Utley hitting .282. Utley 1 for 4 with an RBI double off the scoreboard last night. Oh, that's a good pull of the string right there. 80 miles an hour. Hit her way out in front.
John Lattin's been making the pitches when he needs to tonight so far. You look at the curveball, 80 miles an hour. So his changeup will be 84 to 86. His curveball, that's as slow as I've seen it all season long.
And right to Michael Morrison, inside pitch and a one-hopper. And John Lattin has put 3 zeros on the board against the powerful Phillies. the Mets in town. Fireworks on Friday. The special offer of $5 tickets. Limited supply Saturday. And photo day on the field before the game. And a post-game concert by one of those wonderful groups of ours. And then Sunday, kids run the show. Ryan Zimmerman. Fathead Jr. poster giveaway. So the music of Lifehouse and all kinds of things. Patriotic t-shirts on Labor Day. Go to nationals.com and you can find out all about it much better than listening to an announcer in a hurry. Here's John Lennon.
Yeah, take your time.
That was the promo of the season.
And you know it's a big deal and takes up the whole screen.
Lennon 4 for 46 on the year with a homer, 5 RBIs. 0.97 career hitter. An 0-2 from Oswalt. He drops a hard breaker on him. 5 Ks for Roy Oswalt, first time through the lineup.
They kind of knew he'd be strong tonight. Working on 6 days rest. Pitch a week ago Saturday night in Philly. So far, both pitchers have been strong.
41 pitches and 29 strikes for John Lennon. Oswalt 30 over 23 his first 2 innings.
Did you hear what Levon did last night during the rain delay? We were speculating he gets thrown out of his routine. It's going to be a tough go for him. So right when the tarp was put on, he was very upset that he did his whole routine, threw his 130 warm-up pitches, came out 45 minutes early, threw a couple pitches during the game, then came in upset that they started the game. But throughout the course of the rain delay, he was in the cage throwing pitches. So they estimated between all his warm-ups last night that he threw over 300 pitches.
Well, we've heard stories about guys every 20 minutes or so will go and, in some cases throw a ball against the wall or throw to a catcher in the cage. Whatever you have to do to stay loose.
He wanted to get back out on that mound, so he did whatever it took to stay loose for 2 hours and 22 minutes.
59 pitches in game action for Levon. He was at 9 pitches when the rain hit. Ian Desmond now with a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes. He flied to right first time up after narrowly missing a double down the line on a foul ball. Oswalt had him reaching, and Roy Oswalt's got some serious movement going on his pitches right now. Zimmerman and Morse have gone opposite field for hits. Nobody else doing anything with Roy, and here's Ankiel, who was his first strikeout victim. First pitch popped up. Jimmy Rollins takes charge, as he usually does, and it's on to the middle innings. Both pitchers in cruise control early tonight. Inning, and it's time for our international troop recognition from DynCorp. We serve today for a better tomorrow. And before the game, a real treat. The U.S. Army silent drill team in center field. Unbelievable precision. And we saw them tossing some of those bayonets from the front of the line through the air and then caught by their teammates at the back of the line.
Do not try that at home.
Very impressive precision by our Army soldiers today. It's a night to be at the ball game with Dad, to honor our soldiers and see some good baseball. And all three of those things happening right now. It'll be Howard, Pence, and Mayberry for the Phillies, top four in a scoreless game, each team with 2 hits. Brian Howard, a leadoff walk in the second.
And tried to steal strike one with that off-speed pitch, just kind of rolled in there. Brian Howard out in front looking for a fastball, but you always have to be careful with the big guy up there just trying to steal strike one with a get me over anything.
Late for that one, and the count's 0-2. That ball in the air to left. That's how he's got power the opposite way. In Philadelphia, that ball is either flirting with the wall or in the seats. He gets a lot of home runs in that ballpark going that way. Here in Washington, can of corn, 1 out.
And just a little flick of the wrist, 2-strike approach. Goes all the way to the warning track, about 360 feet away from home plate.
Hunter Pence steps in and takes a hack. He lined out to Worth in right field first time. Well, Howard's 30, Utley's 32. Some people think the Phillies are an aging ball club. I don't think they're there just yet. They got a bunch of guys in their primes right now still. They got a little younger with 28-year-old Hunter Pence added to the roster. Ryan Zimmerman throws him out. And a couple of quick outs for John Lannon here in the fourth.
Everything has been down in the zone for Lannon so far. How good has Ryan Zimmerman looked at third base lately? Getting to everything, throws right on the money with something on it. Said it last night, when scouts talk about certain players, they refer to them as baseball players. That means they do everything well. That guy right there is a baseball player.
We'll have a graphic to show you later tonight about career walk-off home runs, like the most ever. It's a very interesting list, and a certain someone a few years down the road may have a chance to jump onto that list.
The only thing is when you keep doing it so much, it's only a matter of time before teams elect not to pitch to you in those situations. It gets tougher as you go along.
Yeah.
But 8 walk-off home runs for Ryan Zimmerman. You talk to guys that were good hitters that played 10 years in the league. They didn't have 8 walk-off hits, let alone 8 walk-off taters.
The key is getting the bases loaded so they have to pitch to you. It's just amazing what he's been able to do in those situations over his 6 full years. 0-2 now to Mayberry, who walked his first time. And John Lannon busting him inside. Carlos Ruiz is next. Atlanta's taken a 3-1 lead at home over Arizona. Diamondbacks are finding out the National League East isn't a real fun place. Lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies, lost to the Braves last night. That ball hit hard to left and a base hit for Mayberry. That'll bring in Ruiz, who went on the attack first pitch and lined the base hit up the middle back in the second to load him up prior to that 5-2 double play ball. And by the way, worthy of note in that Atlanta game, Dan Uggla hit his 28th home run. Fastball up and in, 2-0. They've got the runner picked off. Morse has to be quick with the throw, but Ian Desmond drops it. And they'll give Mayberry a stolen base for that.
A pretty good relay by Michael Morse. Good move by Lanning. See him come up to meet the throw. Right on the money, and Ian Desmond just whiffed on the throw. We saw him do that a lot in April, where the ball just hit his glove and bounced out. Same case right there. Took his eye off the ball, started to make the tag before he caught it. And in the big leagues, that play has to be made.
Yes, it does. And now it's 3-0 on Ruiz, and this inning gets a little more complicated. It's just like a runner stealing on a catcher's throw. You give him the steal, even though it appears it could have been an error. Pretty close pitch there, and ball 4 called. Suddenly the Phillies have 2 on after 2 are out. And that's John Lannon's 3rd walk.
And that might have been a pitch around once Mayberry got to second base. Didn't want to give Ruiz anything to hit. You see 89 miles an hour right there in the 3-0 pitch. So kind of a unintentional, intentional. But regardless, if John Lannon wiggles his way out of this again, how many extra pitches is this going to cost him?
So now they call it a caught stealing and an E6. Because in essence, Lannon picked off the runner. Took him a while to decide that. Here's Valdez, and he takes one outside. That'll be Ian Desmond's 20th error of the year. Looked like ball 2, and Valdez swung over the top of it. That is going to put the Phillies on top. Ruiz is heading for third. Worth slides, and the ball gets away from him, and it's 2-0 Philadelphia.
The same thing happened to John Lannon last Saturday night. You give a team like the Philadelphia Phillies extra outs, it'll hurt. You can't keep giving these guys chances, and with an extra chance, Wilson Valdez hits a triple down the corner. It's 2 runs, so you put guys on for free. This team will make you pay every single time.
A mistake on a very simple play. And now a walk and a triple later. Philadelphia leads by 2, and here's Roy Oswalt. Jason Worth tried to slide up against the barrier down there to keep the runner from scoring. He just couldn't corral that thing. It was hit pretty hard. There's Oswalt pulling it, and Ryan Zimmerman is right there. Zimmerman leads off the bottom of the 4th, but it's not a scoreless game anymore. the association for IT pros. And here's Debbie with the FCA sideline report.
Well, as we saw last night, Ryan Zimmerman just simply thrives in late game dramatics and pressure situations. And earlier, I asked him to describe the feeling and what's going through his mind when he hits such a dramatic home run.
To be honest with you, I really don't remember any of it until you get to home plate. And that's the coolest thing about it is, obviously the individual stuff is fun, but having your teammates waiting at home plate because you won a game is the coolest part about it. And that's the greatest part of, being a part of a walk-off home run, whether it's you or someone else hitting it, is, everyone's just so excited that we won a game, and it's a lot of fun.
Ryan said, too, the key is just keeping the same approach as a first inning at bat. And he also told me that you sense the pressure, you sense the moment, but you have to put the pressure on the pitcher, not on yourself. And he also said he couldn't remember hitting a walk-off in Little League, college, or even the minor leagues. He did not hit a walk-off home run until he came to the big leagues with the Nationals. Bob, FP?
Well, he picked the right times to save him for. First one came in 06. He had a couple that year. Against the Marlins, the grand slam against Chin-Ming Wong of all people. The walk-off homer that beat the Yankees, and now he's 2 for 2 tonight. And his batting average is headed now for the 310 mark. Not to mention the 13 walk-off RBIs.
Wow. I'm looking at Zimmerman at the graphic. That's one of the best shots I've ever seen in my life. That was about 2 steps from home plate last night.
Here's Ryan.
To his teammates, like, what else did you expect?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, and the hits just keep on coming.
That'll bring in Michael Morris, and now Zim and Morris are the only 2 with hits. Morris opposite field double last time. They were stranded at second and third when Nick struck out, ending the first. And Michael Morris had that one just miss his hip.
There's going to be a time this season when Michael Morris finally gets hit and one of the Nationals pitchers do something about it and hit the opposition, because he has been pounded in all year. He's been hit a lot lately. His elbow's still barking.
Michael Morris has been hit by 10 pitches this year.
And all seem like fastballs on the inner half of the plate, because that's the book on him, hard in. You leave something out over the plate, you're going to pay. So a lot of pitchers have been trying to pound Michael Morris in, and what happens a lot of times is they're drilling him.
He's ahead in the count. That's an off-speed pitch up and in.
Hitting .391 against the Phillies this year.
And he had a pitch up and he was hopping all over it.
One of those 58 home runs in batting practice today, first 2 groups, it seemed like Michael Morris hit 57 of them. I mean, I've never seen a guy, and I've sit in the cage with Gary Sheffield, Barry Bonds, a guy during batting practice that hits balls that make that funny sound off the bat 10 rows deep. And then when he gets one, forget about it. I mean, it's out of here. On the concourse, places that you've never seen balls go in this park.
Can you imagine, had he made the All-Star team, what he would have done with those Titleist balls they used for the home run derby?
Yeah, it would have been a joke.
Kinetic pitch track.
Good eye.
Providing world-class technology to our national and homeland security customers. That's Kinetic, North America. Oswalt goes off speed, slows down Michael's bat, and he still is strong enough to get that thing out of play. Roy Oswalt, part of our AT&T trivia tonight. 155 wins, leads all National League pitchers in decisions since 2001. He's lost 90, by the way, so a good career winning percentage. 20 complete games, 8 shutouts, .321 career earned run average. There will be more shortly. And a 3-2 with nobody out again. Michael Morse hanging in there, waiting to get something he can work with. And here's the rest. Never won a Cy Young. He's finished in the top 5 different times. He's won 20 twice, 04 and 05 with Houston, 19 and 02. Best recent season, 17 and 10 with the Astros 3 years ago. Runners moving, and that's ball 4. 2 on, nobody out.
Great at bat.
How about Davey Johnson moving the runner? Maybe thinking Michael Morse was going to get some kind of off-speed pitch, and Zimmerman would make it to second. June 1st, in a 2-1 ball game, Lance Nix with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd, and this was the game-winning hit that day early in the contest.
A changeup down in a way that he pulled into the right center field gap. And Oswald's looking at his catcher, Carlos Ruiz, saying, how the heck did he hit that changeup down the way to right center field, 400 feet?
Lannon, Coffey, Slayton, Clippard, and Storin with his 10th save, combining on a 2-1 5-hitter against the Phils for the Nats to win that series. Here's Lance Nix. So Lance bats with these 2 guys on base for the 2nd time tonight.
A great at-bat by Michael Morse. And I think that's been the difference that we've seen, besides the obvious, is him being able to foul off borderline pitches with 2 strikes.
Fastball up and away, 2-0. Phillies on top, 2-0. Former Philly on deck. Nix gets jammed. That's not good for the Nats. Easy out on a 2-0 pitch. Easy catch for Valdez. Worth flied to center first time. Tying run on base at first. Morse behind Zimmerman. That's on the inside corner.
The corner got real big in a hurry.
It to left field. Bo Porter is going to send Ryan Zimmerman, and he is out.
And John Mayberry can throw. That's not Raul Ibanez out there in left field. And I had a feeling when Bo Porter sent Ryan Zimmerman right there that a good throw gets him, and it did. Watch where Zimmerman is in relationship to Mayberry getting the baseball. He's got the ball right before he gets to third. The rule of thumb is you usually got to be to the base before you're waved, before the outfielder catches the baseball. A good one-hop throw right there. Good tag by Ruiz. Good block of the plate with the right shin guard.
Now the Nats have runners at first and second, 2 outs. And the hitter, Danny Espinosa.
Another good at-bat from Jason Worth.
Danny struck out swinging first time. 2 for 11 career against Roy Oswald. Hits are even at 4. Nats still looking to break on that board. That's a fastball right down the middle. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As we mentioned, Roy Oswalt's a strike thrower. 1 walk tonight. He has not walked as many as 3 batters in any of his starts this year. Numbers coming in: 51 strikeouts, 21 walks in 15 starts. Not nearly the strikeout pitcher he used to be, but he does have 5 tonight. Off speed, and Danny Espinosa out ahead of it, stays alive. Two nothing Phillies, a 1-2 count with 2 on 2 out, bottom 4. Espinosa way late. So the Nats will strand a couple. They've left 4 tonight, lost a runner at the plate. On Masson, brought to you by Verizon Wireless, America's largest and most reliable wireless network, and by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. There's the ultimate American building on a Saturday night here in August. 4 innings in the book. The Phillies on a couple of unearned runs on top, and the Geico President's Race. So we go right from the Capitol to the President's. Teddy looking good.
I remember the last time the Phillies were in town. We got some bogus information that Teddy might be winning the race.
Another Washington rumor, FP.
It was my first experience in one of those.
We understand there is a lobbying firm that's been retained on Teddy's behalf now, and that may be what it takes to get something done around here.
Was it Memorial Day? I know it was a big day at the ballpark, sellout crowd. Jason Worth had just made some comments in the paper saying, why doesn't Teddy ever win?
Yeah.
So I was told by, at the time, what I thought was a reliable source, no longer a reliable source, that Teddy was going to win on that day.
Left side chopper. Zimmerman right there to cut it off. And Jimmy Rollins is 1 for 3. John Lennon pitching well. Does not deserve to be down 2-0. Did you have to go to a parking garage and some guy with a real quiet voice had to sneak up around a pillar and give you that information?
In a trench coat. Yeah. just handed me a note and walked the other way, and the note said, "Teddy will win."
Wow.
Bootleg bogus information.
Well, at least you had it before anybody else did.
Yep, who cares if I'm right? I had it first.
Oh, boy. Victorino 0 for 2. Fly ball to center, fly ball to left. And the count's even. On a breaking ball, Zimmerman. He is scooping up everything over there.
Just a picking machine right now. You see the shot off the bat of Victorino. One hop in my glove. Just another hard play that I'm going to make look routine.
He's accounted for 6 outs tonight. The last 4 on the ground in that double play he engineered back in the second. So some of those Phillies right-handed batters may want to let the ball travel a little deeper in their stances. Here's Chase Utley, lefty-lefty matchup now for John Lannon. Utley has struck out swinging and bounced out to Michael Morse.
There was some talk before the game that this might be the biggest crowd in Nationals history.
They are packed in everywhere we look. Ballpark officially seats 41,506. We had 37,841 last night. Let's dial back to opening day and see what the crowd was. Just for fun.
I don't think it was that great. It was
39,055 on opening day.
Cold day, rainy.
42 degrees.
I was just going to say that.
That's a perfect pitch at the knees in the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And the location hasn't been a problem for Lannon tonight. Very aggressive on the bottom half of the strike zone. Good frame by Ramos.
On the Verizon Pitch Track, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Danger lurking in case of a base on balls or a hit here. Or if Utley was hit by a pitch, which he has been 8 times this year. He's led the league in that category a couple of times. Lannon looking to paint the outside corner. And I don't think he's happy with that one. It's been a small strike zone, relatively speaking, tonight. And John Lannon has just been charged with his 4th walk.
And check out the last pitch from John Lannon. A little 3-2 fastball down in the zone. I think he was mad at himself for not throwing a strike.
Now having to face this big dangerous hitter. The leading RBI man in the National League, Ryan Howard. Yankees are down 7-1 at Minnesota, so Curtis Granderson does not have an RBI tonight. He and Howard are tied for the big league lead. Who would have thought Curtis Granderson would be on a race to 100 with Ryan Howard?
Having an MVP type year.
Chase Utley is 13 for 13 stealing bases this year. Howard rolls it over, and he's right to Sam Perlazzo. And the count's even 1-1.
Just watch John Lannon bounce off the mound right there to cover first base. Had that been fair, and his knee looks pretty good.
Howard high in the air, left center. It'll play for Ankiel. No damage done with the 2-out walk. Bottom of the order coming up. Phillies lead 2-0. Nothing on the unearned runs. Learn about the unbelievably fair wireless service now provided by Cox. Visit their new solution store or go to cox.com.
Tonight, the story of the game so far has been Roy Oswalt. Been pretty good. Fastball command's been good. A little late life on the heater. Good changeup. You'll see the elevated fastball. Dan Iasonia once again leaning in to make a call. Only tonight he's at third base. And then the fastball pass. Danny Espinosa and Wilson Ramos caught looking.
Roy Oswalt, 60 pitches, 44 strikes in 4 innings. He doesn't have any double-digit strikeout games this year. His most ever 12. He's done it in his career 13 times. Wilson Ramos was caught looking a couple of innings ago. That was the last out in the second. John Lannon next, and then Ian Desmond.
A big test for Oswalt's going to be third time around the lineup. You're wondering if last night getting hot, getting warmed up, getting all lathered up, coming into the dugout ready to pitch, and then having to sit there for 2 hours getting shut down. If you're going to see the effects of that tonight, probably be around the 5th or 6th inning, third time around the lineup.
Ramos hits one out to the gap in right center. In to grab it, Shane Victorino, who's a pretty good free safety out there. And right now, Roy Oswalt has a pretty good game flow going. He's only given up hits in 2 innings. And so it's brought to you, this game flow, by Hankook Tires. Be one with it, Hankook Tires. John Lannon struck out swinging. First time up, he goes up hacking this time. One ball and 2 strikes.
And see that pitch right there, you throw 2 fastballs by the opposing pitcher. He's late on both of them. You try to trick him with a curveball there at the end. And if that ball is a strike, you're actually doing John Lannon a favor. You're speeding up his bat and allowing him a chance to get the barrel on the baseball.
Now he goes heat and misses 3-2. So it'll take him at least 6 pitches to face his opponent. And now John Lannon will hang tough.
Nice job. Make him fire some bullets.
Lannon with a base hit up the middle. What a good at bat. So John Lannon goes 7 pitches to get a base hit.
It's not long ball Lannon, but it sure is a heck of an at bat. Fouled off a 3-2 fastball to get another 3-2 fastball. So instead of just making Roy Oswalt fire some bullets, he gets himself a base hit.
Ian Desmond now. Oswalt has had him reaching a couple of times. Fly ball to right, ground ball to second. Desmond with a double play ball to Rollins, to Utley, and a wild throw. Fortunately for the Phillies, it hit the facing in front of the Nats dugout, and so Desmond will stay at first base. It'll simply be a 6-4 fielder's choice.
A pretty good slide by John Lannon, run a little traffic right here to break up the double play. He slid at the last second, and Chase Utley throws the ball wild. Good hustle by Ian Desmond getting down the line, so that's a good trade of runners for the Nationals. And you still got the tie-in run at the plate in the form of Rick Ankiel.
And Roy Oswalt probably thought that was sharp enough to be an easy double play ball, so he'll have to work some more. And Rick Ankiel takes ball 1. That's a busted bat. Out to Utley and to Rollins, and the Nats are gone in the 5th inning. Lannon, Zimmerman, and Morse with Worth, the only hits for the Nats so far. Sixth inning coming up. Some twists and turns to this one lately. The plot could be a little bit different if it's not for the error. Nationals have lost a runner at home. It's been a fairly even ball game except for 1 or 2 things. Yeah,
some plays that should have been made behind John Lannon weren't, but I think John Lannon's been nice tonight. Very aggressive in the strike zone, keeping the front side closed, getting on top of that 2-seam fastball. So they're in this game. It really doesn't matter till about the 8th or 9th inning.
Yeah, the way these things have been going at home this year. Roy Oswalt outstanding for the Phillies. And then Jason Worth he's still showing us some of those signs of life with his bat. just waiting for that big explosion for 3 or 4 ball games in a row.
Yeah, I think that at bat last night to lead off the 9th inning, that 11-pitch battle kind of locked it in for Jason Worth. First time up tonight, he lined out deep to center field, and then he got that base hit a second time up. So I'm putting out a good show for the fans here in D.C.
On to the 6th. John Lennon, 76 pitches, 49 strikes. Pence, Mayberry, and Ruiz for the Phils. Hunter Pence is 0 for 2 with a liner to right and a ground ball to Zimmerman. He gets under that one, and it's going to sail out of here. 4th homer is a Philly, his 15th of the year. Philadelphia leads 3-0.
Bob, we were talking about it in Philadelphia last weekend, stood behind the cage and watched Hunter Pence hit. He was hitting balls to left field there that I have never seen right-handers hit. I didn't know he had this much pop. Now, you know he's got the home run numbers, but you didn't know that he hit them this far. He was staying on that pitch from Lannon. He was all over it.
You know, part of the reason for that might be that ballpark in Houston. You hit a ball like that down the line, it hits something and comes right back on the field because it's not that deep down there. And you put him in a wide open space like this and he can cover some footage. That was big in terms of distance. And he's driven in 74 runs now. And for the Phillies, 12 in 19 games.
You talk to the Philadelphia Phillies people, they say he is a dream come true to have on the ball club. Just the energy in the clubhouse, the attitude he has. I mean, he's like a kid on Christmas morning every day. He was playing in front of nobody in Houston. They were in last place. Fire sale going on, and all of a sudden he gets traded and finds himself in first place playing in front of 45,000 people every night.
On the team, if they're not the best team in baseball in the opinion of some, they have the best record. 80 wins for this Philadelphia ball club. Yankees 76, Boston right behind them. And that ball lined up the middle, and John Mayberry's on for the 3rd time tonight. Walk in 2 singles, and that'll bring in Carlos Ruiz, who Lannon has not been able to retire. So the Phillies box score getting a little more full. Mayberry, the 2 hits. Hunter Pence, the solo home run. And then the RBIs on the Wilson Valdez triple back in the 4th inning after the Desmond error on a routine first base to second base throw where the runner picked off. Colin Ballister is up in the Nats bullpen. And now Davey Johnson, Steve McCaddy keeping a very close eye on Lannon. Warm night, but not oppressive by any means compared to some of the weather we've had around here. Comfortable evening. And this is the 3rd time through the order, down to the number 7 spot here. That ball is ripped through the box. It's the 2nd time Ruiz has ambushed him on the first pitch tonight.
I guarantee you that line drive scared John Lannon. That's the first real comebacker he's had in the air since he got hit in the face against the Rockies. He had a couple ground balls whiz by his ear, but that's the first line drive that's got near him since Ty Wigginton hit that line drive off his face.
Here's Valdez, who has the biggest hit of the night. And this isn't the pitching coach, this is the manager coming out. And John Lennon might be done after 5 innings. Manager wants the baseball. John Lennon, pretty good battle until this inning. And this call to the bullpen is packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. Lannon done after 5+. Colin Ballister on the way. Nothing, and they're threatening to score more here in the 6th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Appearance number 12 for Colin Ballister, a 4.12 ERA in 20 innings, 20 hits, 18 strikeouts, 9 walks.
And a fastball curveball from Colin Ballister.
Wilson Valdez, the hitter, right-hander, then Roy Oswalt on the top of the order. Valdez is hitting a heavy .238 for the Phillies with 46 RBIs. That is fair. Zimmerman to the bag for one, and then he just had to try an off-balance throw to second base. Umpire Dan Isanya confirms to John Mayberry he's out as Zimmerman gets the ball FP right at the bag.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see if he's okay. Took quite a tumble after he made this play. Kind of trips right here as he tries to throw back across to second base, and that would have been the play of the year. You see the backhand play, foot on the base. Now comes the tough part. Do you go to first or you go to second? He chose to go to second base. He took a nasty fall.
Another Dodge Ram Exmo look. The Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram summer clearance event with great offers and won't last long. Hurry in. Check them out at your local dealership. So an important first out. Ruiz not usually a running threat. The Nats tried to throw in behind him. He's at second, Valdez at first, and everybody expecting a bunt. Roy Oswalt, by the way, is second among active pitchers in sacrifices to Livan Hernandez with 103.
I better be careful on that play where Desmond's breaking in behind the runner Carlos Ruiz at second base. The whole left side of the infield's open. I've seen Roy Oswalt before pull the bat back and go butcher boy, hit a ground ball.
Yeah, he can handle a bat. So Ballister gets the outer half to even the count. And he'll lay it down to Michael Morse, who goes to third, safe. Michael makes the wrong decision. Ruiz got a good jump on that bunt, and the bases are loaded now with the top of the order coming up.
I see Michael Morse is thinking, if I get a hard bunt right here, I have a catcher on second base, I'm going to get him. I think Carlos Ruiz runs a little bit better than people think. He's got pretty good speed for a catcher, got a good jump on the bunt, and he was safe easily. So now it's damage control for the Nats. You just don't want this one to get away.
Sacrifice, fielder's choice there. And that's a strike to Jimmy Rollins, who's 1 for 3. Rollins turns around to bat from the left side, where he's 279 this year, 40 plus points higher than he is from the other side. Quickly 0-2.
Challenge fastball right down the middle.
Ruiz third base. Valdez at second, Oswalt at first. And one out still here in the 6th inning. Up the middle. Desmond can't get it. Phillies will score 2 and lead 5-0. Ankiel guns out Oswald at third base.
And just a center cut fastball with 2 strikes, and Jimmy Rollins all over it. Actually, it was a little bit more away than I originally thought, but a good piece of hitting with 2. Took a little bit out of his swing, thinking right back up the middle, just trying to play pepper right there and put the ball in play. A pretty good throw from Rick Ankiel on the backside to get Roy Oswalt.
And Roy Oswalt gets himself off the diamond, gets Jimmy Rollins to scoring position. And all 5 of these runs will be charged to John Lennon. 3 of them earned. And Shane Victorino is the hitter. Phillies 8 hits now. 5-8-0 Philadelphia. 0-5-1 Washington. Victorino 0 for 3 tonight.
Good throw has him.
Yeah, throw it to the other side of the bag, huh?
A lot of times guys aren't ready for a pickoff with 2 outs because you don't see it very often. Sometimes you get caught peeking into the signs trying to figure out what their signs are, and all of a sudden you're hearing back from your third base coach and it's too late.
Long inning for the Nats here in the field. 4 hits, including the leadoff homer by Pence. And a 2-2 now to Victorino. Backdoor breaking ball. Desmond has it. Safe at first. Jimmy Rollins hung around for an extra step right in front of Ian Desmond. And the Phillies showing some speed they possess at the top of that batting order.
Victorino's got the quicks. Whenever he makes a shortstop move to his right, he's got a chance for a knock. You see Desmond knowing that he's got to hurry. He uses the big arm, but it's just too late. Came and got the ball, did everything right. It was just the speed of Victorino. It got him a little infield single. See him almost running out of the box and swinging at the same time. That was a lot like Ichiro, staying on that off-speed pitch, kind of leaving the box as he's making contact.
And now the Phillies a chance to deal the Nationals a serious blow with the 8th man in the inning, Chase Utley. Utley 0 for 2, a walk last time. So the line's complete on John Lennon. 5+, 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned, 4 walks, a strikeout. Jimmy Rollins, big time damage with that 2-run single. That's ball 2 to Utley. And a 2-0 coming. Victorino has 16 stolen bases this year. Jimmy Rollins has 28. Chase Utley 13. Among their top 3 guys. Only caught 10 times. Runner started, then stopped, and it's 3-0. And now you're facing the specter of Colin Ballister, possibly facing Ryan Howard with the bases loaded.
Hey, better be careful right here because he's swinging.
Up 5, why not? One thing the Phillies did not do last night, they didn't apply the knockout blow, and the bases will be loaded now. It ended up costing them later. That's the 5th walk issued by Washington pitching tonight. And now Steve McCaddy visits Ballister. Ryan Howard in his career against the Nationals has hit 36 home runs with 108 RBIs in 117 games. And those of us who've suffered through some of that will tell you that there have been a couple of grand slams in there. He's 4 RBIs away from 100, and you'd hate to see him get there on one swing. He's walked, flied to left, and flied to center tonight. Ballister just can't get that front end closed up, FP, to get the ball to the outside corner.
And we've seen it before when he misses with the off speed on the first pitch and it's 1-0.
Oops.
Have to locate a fastball if you go to it.
He was pumping on 2-0.
And just a 2-0 fastball challenge right down the middle. And you see Ryan Howard thinking bigger things pulled off.
Two-two pitch.
That's tough when you're not throwing your curveball for a strike and you're a 2-pitch pitcher. Major league hitters will sit dead red all day long. So you establish that curveball in the strike zone, there's nothing else to think about it except for see fastball, hit fastball. I would try a curveball right here and go back to the heater 3-2 if I miss.
He goes backdoor and gets the corner with the breaking ball, freezing Ryan Howard. Does that pitch keep the Nationals in this game? We'll find out over the next couple of innings. 5-0 Philadelphia.
strike three. Watch the fan in the background right here. Watch the fan right over the umpire's shoulder. What did he think about it? Phillies fan not agreeing with the strike three call to Ryan Howard.
Convergence technology on the pitch track, including a bummed out fan. They're the winning team with Citrix for desktop virtualization. Call the experts, 301-860-1960, or visit convergencetech.us. Zimmerman and Morse. Ryan Zimmerman with another drive. This one heading for the scoreboard, and it's caught by Hunter Pence.
And there was a second there where Pence looked like he was just going to play it off the wall, and then he said, I got a beat on this ball. I'm going to try to catch it.
Shane Victorino looks like his kid brother standing next to him. League leaders from Hollywood Casino Charlestown Races, huge TVs, cold beer, all-star eats, and great giveaways. The all-new Skybox Sports Bar. Your game day headquarters, Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races, West Virginia. How long before Ryan Zimmerman makes his way onto that list?
Well, that's a pretty impressive list, and when I see that list, I think about a bunch of dumb pitchers pitching to those guys.
Now Morse goes up hacking.
Oh, look at some of those guys on that list. They
could hit.
They had some protection behind them, too. It wasn't like they were the only guys in the lineup.
I know for a number of years, Stan Musial was the only one ever to hit a walk-off homer in an all-star game. A very rare occurrence. And the count is 0-2 to Michael Morse, who has doubled and walked. And he is gone. Roy Oswalt, strikeout number 7. He's got a 5-run lead to work with. He's a bulldog to begin with, and he'll really be coming after guys now. Nationals box score pretty empty other than Zimmerman and Morse, who've been on base 4 times between them. Jason Worth has a base hit. That was the one on which Zim was thrown out at the plate. And then John Lennon had a 1-out hit 5th inning. That's been it for the Nats against Roy Oswalt.
All of a sudden, Dale Scott is hunting strikes.
Roy Oswalt coming in with a record of 5-7. 15 starts, a 3.84 ERA. And the Nats will have a base hit from Lance Nix with 2 outs here. Hot night in the city. Big crowd. Saturday night, our nation's capital. A budding rivalry between the Phillies fans and the Nats fans and the guys on the field. And right now it's all Philadelphia 5-0 out hitting the Nats 9-6 after Washington shocked them with 6 in the 9th last night to beat them 8-4.
Don't have to get it all back right here, but pushing a run across here in the 6th. A little answer to that 3 spot. Just what Davey Johnson and the Nats ordered.
First pitch changeup missing. And that's a rather casual approach by Ruiz. That'll let Nix get down to second base. That'll be a pass ball on the reliable defensive catcher. That ball had some run on it. That would be a very irritating way for the Phillies to give up a first run if Worth gets a base hit here.
He's had 2 good at-bats.
And he'll take a generous strike on a 2-0 count. Danny Espinosa has struck out twice. And Worth will take another strike. Off speed. Lance Nix, a one-out base hit, went to second on a pass ball. Jason Worth hunting RBI number 46.
It'll be interesting to see what Oswalt does right here, up by 5 runs. Worth has handled him a couple of times tonight, and he's had success with the guy on deck. Not necessarily a fastball count.
Up the middle, Rollins far to his left, and Worth just cannot get to the bag quickly enough. Nationals have stranded 6 runners. It's on to the late innings now. 5-0 Philadelphia.
And it's going to be that guy right there on deck, Hunter Pence. 6th inning off-speed offering from John Lannon. He gets all of it. High, deep drive to left field. And that was not a cheapie all over that pitch. Not a bad pitch either, down the zone. He just went down there and beat a good pitch, and that's a 4th drive of the game.
Pence, Mayberry, and Ruiz top 7 now for the Phils. Colin Ballister with one right in there. That Atlanta game, by the way, 6th inning now. Braves 5, Diamondbacks 1. The Braves are 7.5 back of the Phillies, but they are the wild card leaders. And Florida is underway at San Diego, and they've given up 4 early. Marlins are struggling. They've lost 3 in a row again, and they start this night 4 games back of the Nationals. Mayberry and Ruiz to follow, top 7. Colin Ballister, part of this 8-man bullpen the Nats employ these days. 2 lefties in there, giving them a shorter bench with a backup catcher and 3 position players every night. And the count's 2-2. And we're told that Ryan Matthews is fine and available if needed after being walked off the mound a couple of nights ago.
He's stretching in the dugout between innings, and Jason Worth saw him and said, "Dude, what are you doing?" He said, "I feel a little something in my arm." Worth went to the staff and said, "Hey, keep an eye on him. He's not feeling good out there." And anytime you got a guy who's had Tommy John surgery in the past, you keep a close eye on him. They walked out there, and he said, "I'm a little bit tight," and that was that.
I was kind of amused by Matthews' quote. He said, "Worth, being the team leader he is, basically snitched on me." Looking out for the ball club, though. There's Desmond on a 2-hopper. Hunter Pence is all out every time. He'll run out every ground ball till he retires.
It's time for our Morgan Franklin pivotal play. We're going to go back to the 4th inning. John Mayberry Jr. on first base. Little pickoff throw. Good relay from Michael Morse. And Ian Desmond just whiffs on the throw.
And that was with 2 outs.
A couple of runs scored after that. It led to 2 unearned runs. And that's our pivotal play of the game. Pivotal plays happen in sports, and they happen in business and government too. See who's making them at pivotalplays.com.
Nationals' 82nd error of the year. Desmond's 20th. Mayberry's had a perfect night with a walk, 2 singles, a run scored. Ballister due to that 3rd, bottom of the 7th, so Davey Johnson looks for him to get 2 more outs and then get some bats busy with 9 outs remaining. And a good breaking ball for a strike call. He goes. Ramos asking for an appeal, but strike 3 had already been called by the home plate umpire. 2 outs. Potomac Nationals are in the midst of wrapping up their season down at Fitzner Stadium in Woodbridge. Just a couple of weeks left. Check them out while you have a chance. For ticket information, they'll tell you about promotions, giveaways, all kinds of fun at High A Potomac. 703-590-2311, PotomacNationals.com. Ruiz, 2 singles, a walk, 2 runs scored. And a breaking ball front door by Ballister for a strike. Keeping the ball high in the zone and on the inner half to Ruiz. 1-2. Roy Oswalt, 88 pitches in 6 innings. That's a slow roller out to Desmond. Nicely done. Colin Ballister, 2 innings, scoreless, but he did give up the 2-run single to Rollins. 7th inning stretch time. your local Ford dealers. And by Navy Federal Credit Union. A loan from Navy Federal Credit Union makes car buying easy. Visit NavyFederal.org to calculate your payment. It's a beautiful night just to the northwest of here at the Washington Monument. And down on South Capitol Street, big crowd, but the Nats are being shut out by Roy Oswalt. They'll have to face another Roy tomorrow. Halladay, who's 15-5 and career 11-1 against the Nationals. Jin-Ming Wong's on a roll. He's won his last 2 starts. And right now his ERA sits at 4.22 with a 2-2 record for the Nats. Johnny and Ray will get you going at 1 o'clock with Nats Extra. FP and I join you with Debbie at 1:30 first pitch. 1:35 from Wong tomorrow.
I'm taking out Roy Halladay tonight. We're going to go have a late one. Day game tomorrow. Keep him out for a while.
The doctor will not be in until 1:35 or so tomorrow. He's pretty good.
I had a major league manager tell me once, you're not playing tomorrow. It's a day game. I need you to take your former teammates out that are over there in the other dugout tonight. Keep them out late. He said, just so you know, you're not playing. Go have a good time. And I need you to take the best 3 players out and keep them out all night long. I said, you got it, Skipper.
Did he buy?
He did.
Here's your credit card. Danny Espinosa with a good swing up the middle. And the Nationals have their 7th base hit. So how did it go? I don't want the details of the night out, but how did it go the next day?
Well, what my former manager failed to realize is those guys raked when they stayed out late, so they all had great days the next day. And he turned to me halfway through the game and he said, did you take them out or what?
Yeah, what'd you guys have, root beer?
I said, I did my best, Skipper. We just didn't realize they play better that way.
Alex Cora for Ballister next. Way inside, Wilson Ramos lays off. He's 0 for 2 with a looking strikeout and a fly ball to center.
Nice to see Danny Espinosa checking in with a knock after a couple rough at-bats off Oswalt.
Ramos with a busted bat. It's going to take him forever to get out of the box. And Rollins will get him on a 4-6-3. Phillies will turn their first double play of this series.
Good feed to Rollins. Pretty good slide by Espinosa, but Jimmy Rollins, being the veteran that he is, saw the swing. Knew that Ramos didn't get out of the box well. Also knew a catcher was running, so he clears himself way wide of traffic. Takes his time and makes a good throw.
That'll bring in Alex Cora, who pinch hit last night in the 7th inning and grounded out. And Alex on the year as a pinch hitter, 4 for 17, 2 RBIs. And Cora will go up the middle. Jimmy Rollins from the grass out there. The veterans playing some shortstop tonight. He's been up the middle all evening long. And this game goes flying into the 8th inning with the Phillies on top with that #1 ranked defense. up shortly, I am sure, as this one goes to the top of the 8th inning. Now the Nats have only been given one walk by Roy Oswalt tonight. Every time they do walk, it's $50 for the Boys and Girls Club of D.C. from our friends at Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. They remind us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Go for a walk. Approaching $19,000. Henry Rodriguez now takes over for the Nats in his 40th ball game. And FP, you were impressed with what you saw out of him a couple of nights ago when he went change up, got a couple of strikeouts, because he doesn't have to throw the ball through a brick wall to get people out.
He threw 3 nasty changeups in a row to one of the best hitters in the National League, Joey Votto. And I can't remember a time in my life when I've seen a hitter that far out in front of 93. The first changeup was 91. The second one was 92. The third changeup was 93 miles an hour, and Joey Votto swung it like it was 60. And I'm sure Davey Johnson, Steve McCaddy, even Mike Rizzo would like to see a repeat performance tonight from Henry Rodriguez.
For the Phillies, Valdez, Oswalt is on deck, having thrown 95 pitches in 7 innings. And then the top of the order, Jimmy Rollins. So there's Roy Oswalt getting it done in grand style tonight. He has a sacrifice bunt. No balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez to Valdez, who's had a 1-for-3 night with a 2-run triple. The big blow after the miscue at second that cost the Nats 2 runs back in the 4th inning. And if you didn't come to the ballpark tonight, we're glad you're with us on Masson. But in a moment, we'll tell you that you might have missed out on a little bit of history tonight. And a 1-2 from Rodriguez. That's a snappy strikeout breaking ball right there. Citrix with the pitch track.
A couple of fastballs away, then he goes to the curveball on a 1-2 pitch. Just a 12-6 bender right there. And that was nasty.
If your company wants to achieve efficiency and cost reduction with desktop virtualization, call on the experts at Convergence Technology and Citrix. 301-860-1960 or convergencetech.us. An all-timer tonight. Here's the number: 44,685. The largest crowd in the history of Nationals Park, now in its 4th year.
Well, they were expecting it, and they got it. You drove up to the ballpark today. You saw the Philly fans everywhere. Lots of Pennsylvania license plates driving all over. Didn't know where they were going. And then you drive up to the ballpark in center field, and there was a line around the corner at about 2 o'clock today. So they got here early, and they got here often, and that's the biggest crowd ever.
And if the master plan for this area gets done in the next few years with some surrounding establishments for entertainment and lodging and eating and drinking. Nights like this will become a huge event in Southeast.
You're talking about when you open up Carps right across street? I'll go.
I don't think there's this. I don't think I could pay the rent for selling scorebooks. And a swing and a miss. Rodriguez now 2 Ks. No, I've already worked in a place where every announcer had his own bar. No desire to go down that road.
Pretty sure I've been to every one, too.
And the top of the order now, Jimmy Rollins. Rollins 2 for 4 tonight. The big early punch in the nose the Nats had to endure back in the 6th inning. That 2-run single made a 3-0 game 5.
He's such a smart hitter. We saw it last night with Livan Hernandez, where he actually beat him with a couple 84-mile-an-hour fastballs off some off speed. And then tonight off Ballister, he threw a couple of fastballs that snuck by him, and then drops the head on it, makes the adjustment with 2 strikes. So you think you can sneak some cheese past a rat, but with Jimmy Rollins, he makes the adjustments, and he's had some pretty good at-bats tonight with 2 strikes. And those plays that he's made up the middle the last couple of days have been amazing. Going back to where usually the bucket is for batting practice, on the grass in center field with the inside spin move, and a couple of throws right on the money. He still can play.
And that's a 3-1. Jimmy Rollins still just 31. Shane Victorino waiting. He's 30. So look at all the core of this Philadelphia team right at the 30 or early 30s mark in their careers. So they're going to be a force for a while.
I think of 31 though, and 31 in shortstop years.
That's some wear and tear, huh?
It's a very demanding position. You're the captain of the infield. You're diving for baseballs. You got guys flying at you on double plays, trying to spike you. You're getting on base, stealing bases a lot. So 31 years old, maybe as a left fielder, might be a little different than a shortstop.
Last time Jimmy Rollins hit over 290 was 4 years ago. Last time he hit over 270 was 3 years ago.
Let's check out Jimmy Rollins' plays last night and tonight. I talked to Pete McCannon today before the game. He's the Phillies bench coach, and he said he works on this play every day in batting practice. So I went out there and I watched him today, and sure enough, he takes ground balls up the middle, does the inside spin move, finds his target. So, you know, we watch it during the game and say, wow, what a great talent. Boy, he can sure go get the baseball, tremendous range, but that's because he works on it at about 4 o'clock every day.
No accident whatsoever. And for any young player out there who thinks his or her natural talent is enough just to get you through, read about what Ozzie Smith did every day. Read about what Jimmy Rollins does every day. Read about what Michael Jordan did every day. They said he was always the first one in the gym and the last one out.
I watched Kobe Bryant play last year, and I got there early because I was doing a radio show from the arena. And he was out there 2 hours before the game, working on moves, playing against one of the coaches, having a guy feed him balls. Was the only Los Angeles Laker out there 2 hours before the game. He practically played a game by himself. You talk about some of the Nationals guys. You get here at 2 o'clock, you see guys taking ground balls at short. Ryan Zimmerman's in the cage every day, working on his throwing, working on his hitting. I remember when, back in the glory days when you're a player, fans would come up and say, what time do you get to the park? Around 6:30 for a 7 o'clock game? I said, no. We're there about 1 o'clock every day. We're looking at film, working out in the weight room, getting in the cage, taking early ground balls, early hitting on the road. Those guys will get there at 1:30. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into a 162-game schedule every single day.
And you just saw another player of that ilk, Chase Utley. Victorino gets under this one. Jason Worth is now under it. And this one's going to the bottom of the 8th inning with the top of the order for the Nats. Desmond Ankiel Zimmerman, big inning needed. Oswalt pitching beautifully, and then the only thorn in their side, Ryan Zimmerman, with his 2 hits tonight. Check out the unbelievably fair wireless now provided by Cox. Go by one of their solution stores or go online to cox.com. Desmond 0 for 3, so's Rick Ankiel. Roy Oswalt nearing 100 pitches here in the 8th inning. He's gone the distance in his career 20 times, 8 of them shutouts.
I mean, if you're a bench player on the Phillies, you might as well just go up in the clubhouse and start eating. All these guys that go complete games every night, the pitcher spot comes around. There's no at-bats for pinch hitters.
Their team ERA is 3.11, the best in baseball. Giants went into their ball game tonight, and they've given up 5 at Houston at 3.13. You put that together with the defense, #1 in all of baseball, fewest errors, and then the big boppers they have. It's probably as close to the most perfectly configured team in the major leagues of anybody. I mean, the Yankees always have their pitching issues here and there. Roy Oswalt not having any issues tonight. That's 8 strikeouts for him. Take MLB.tv and the Nats with you everywhere you go on your computer or your favorite device. Log on to nationals.com for details, and you can order right there. There's Ankiel. Now the Phillies have had more than their usual array of injuries this year, so Charlie Manuels had to do some adjusting. But I mean, there were times in 07, 08 up till last year, the Nats would play the Phillies 18 times a year. They'd probably have the same lineup 15 or 16 of those games.
Every team goes through injuries throughout the course of a season. It's just the teams that can keep their head above water during those injuries. I think the Phillies have done more than that.
Looking for their 81st win tonight. Trying to win their 12th of the last 14 on the road. What, they have a 9-1 road trip to the West Coast 2 weeks ago? That's ridiculous. Nobody does that. Ankiel on the attack, and the count's 1-2. So what does Ryan Zimmerman have in store next?
A 6-run home run.
It won't be a walk-off because it's the 8th inning, but we'll take it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Atlanta winning easily now tonight. 7 innings in the books down there. They lead the Diamondbacks 8-1. They are really solidifying their wild card standing too. Infield jacks one hard, and look out, hooking into the corner. Looks like in the Central or the West, if you don't win your division, your chances of making the playoffs as the wild card very low.
I think if the Giants end up losing tonight, that'll be 17 out of 23.
And they're down 7-3 in the 9th at Houston. And then the other team chasing a division leader, St. Louis, beaten again by the Cubs today. And with Milwaukee winning, that'll be an 8.5 game difference between first and second place in the Central. Roy Oswalt is still working quickly and on the attack.
Pitch number 109 coming.
And by the way, this is Roy Oswalt's deepest outing of the year, with Michael Stutz warming up for the 9th. Oswalt had gone 7 innings 3 times, and he's now gone 7 2/3. 9 strikeouts. He'll face red-hot Ryan Zimmerman.
Let's check out Ryan Zimmerman's night tonight. He's been in the zone lately, locked in, whatever you want to call it. I mean, when you hit a walk-off grand slam and you get interviewed and you don't even remember anything except for crossing home plate, that tells me that he's in the zone. Lumber, leather, doesn't matter. You see the at-bats from Ryan Zimmerman, bloop singles, off the wall, other way. I'll tell you what, I was excited to watch him play. When we got to Vieira this spring, he was the one guy that, you know, you only got to see play a couple of times on the West Coast when he came through, and you said, wow, this guy can play. But I'm getting the privilege to watch him play every day. I mean, he's a franchise-type player.
And an even better person. That's what's amazing about him.
Just does everything so well.
Very active with his foundation. His mom, Cheryl, diagnosed with MS at the very young age of 10. And he's done a lot of wonderful work with that. The Zims Foundation. Two balls and a strike to Ryan, who's now hitting .306. Look at this. Another line drive base hit. He's gone the opposite field twice tonight. Ryan Zimmerman is real close, and it's going to take him a while to catch up on the at-bats, of course, but he's up there with some of the top 10 guys in the league soon.
You see Ryan Howard right there. That was a great shot, trying to rub up against Ryan Zimmerman to get some of that hotness onto his jersey.
Still only 26 years of age, folks. That'll be it for Roy Oswalt. He will go 7 2/3. Unless Charlie does not take the baseball. Maybe he'll trust a veteran to tell him he can get one more hitter and get this thing into the 9th. And off goes the man from Lexington, Virginia.
Yeah, he didn't signal, and he kind of went out there pretty quick. Anytime you see a manager not signal and get to the mound quick, he's going to talk to his veteran pitcher and see how he's feeling.
I think Roy Oswalt has earned that privilege of trust at this stage of his career. Roy Oswalt will be 34, as I mentioned, in 9 days. About to win his 156 games, so he looks like a sure bet for well over 200.
Well, the reason he went out there is because he knows it can be 5-2 in a hurry.
Michael Morse has that on his mind. And Morse hits one hard. Jimmy Rollins again. Don't hit it to third if you're a Philly. Don't hit it to short if you're a National. Lifehouse, presented by Coca-Cola. Washington Post Kids Run the Show Day and Ryan Zimmerman Fathead Jr. poster giveaway as we get into Sunday and Monday. And then it'll be the patriotic t-shirt giveaway from the Washington Post on Labor Day. Special $5 tickets, more information, limited number of those seats available at nationals.com/Grand Slam. Good to see Ryan Matthews back on the mound as the ninth inning rolls around here. Left a couple of nights ago after getting one hitter, a strikeout of Paul Janisch, and then he felt something in his shoulder trying to get loose, and Jason Worth tattletaled on him, and they took him out of the game as a precaution. And here he is a couple of nights later back on the hill. Ryan has a 0 ERA in 16 appearances here. Debbie Taylor, more on Ryan Matthews.
Well, I talked to Ryan the other night, and he told me that he had lifted weights the night before, and he thinks that's what the tightness was from. He said he would never go out there and pitch hurt, so he thought that there was a little miscommunication in Jason Worth telling Davey Johnson that his shoulder was tight. So he feels great, and hopefully he'll perform well tonight, Bob.
Here we go. He's got some good hitters to face, so I'm sure Davey and Steve McCaddy will be paying some attention here. We told you earlier about the crowd. It breaks the previous record of 41,985 when the Red Sox were here, June 25th of 2009. Nationals drew a crowd of over 45,000 at RFK when the Yankees were here. That ball is hammered to left, but Lance Nix is right there. Get maximum access to exclusive Nationals interviews, behind the scenes content available only through social media. Facebook.com/Masson Nationals. Content you just cannot miss. Here's Ryan Howard with a walk and 0 for 3 tonight. And he'll hit this one to right. One hopper. Espinosa, long throw. He makes it look like a routine play.
So an outfield assist for Danny Espinosa.
That's about a normal throw for a shortstop from way out there?
That's farther than a shortstop throw. That's
maybe a shortstop deep in the hole?
Yeah. And look where he's at. Look where he gets it. So he retreats about 4 or 5 steps and then stands up in an absolute cannon to Michael Morris. I just love to watch guys that can throw. Bam.
Hunter Pence 1 for 4 with a homer. His 4th as a Philly, 15th of the year. Yeah, when you go from Minute Maid Park to Citizens Bank, you are blessed as a hitter for places to play.
Yeah, Citizens Bank is better, though, because you get rewarded in center field, too.
Yes, you do. Michael Stutz, the right-hander. And Vance Worley, who threw only around 30 pitches the other night before they were rain delayed for the first 2 hours plus. I think I heard one of the Phillies announcers say today those 2 nights put together more than 4.5 hours of rain delays. So they're happy to play a regulation game tonight. Matthews evens, or rather fills the count now, 3-2.
I'll tell you what, that spot in the ballpark, if you get seats there, you're almost guaranteed a foul ball.
Better bring your glove.
I see at least one in there a night, sometimes 3 or 4. Right where it starts to jet out past the ball girl over there down the right field line.
Yeah. Phillies fans, they love to keep foul balls, but a lot of home run balls they'll throw back. And a 3-2 coming. Matthews misses. There has been one inning tonight where a Nats pitcher got a 1-2-3, and that was John Lannon in the first. And then, pardon me, Colin Ballister in the 7th. A lot of clutter on that side of the page tonight. Phillies have had men all over the bases. They've had 9 stranded so far. And then Mayberry, the hitter. They'll line it hard to Jason Worth. Here we go into the bottom of the 9th. Nats need to come up huge. It'll be Nix, Worth, and Espinoza coming up.
Along with the Ray Knight back at Nationals Park, the numbers speak for themselves. 5-0 Philadelphia leading the Nationals as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. And tonight, the guy that's been in the top 5 in the voting for the Cy Young about 3 times, Roy Oswalt's been pretty tough. MVP has just been on his game tonight, hasn't he?
You know, he's always been really tough, Johnny. The year that he's had this year, totally because of his back problem. I mean, he's won more games than anybody other than 2 pitchers in the last 10 years. But he had it going tonight, and the Nationals made a couple of plays. Desi dropped the ball on a pickoff, and then the play first and second, bunt in order, try to make the play at third base, and those 2 innings ended up being big innings.
Well, the Nationals did it last night, and Ryan Zimmerman's walk-off grand salami. Let's see if they can do something tonight. They're down by 5. Let's go back up to Bob and FP Santangelo.
Thank you, Johnny and Ray. And it'll be Michael Stutz for the Phillies here. In his 44th appearance, a 3.40 ERA, 42 strikeouts in 45 innings. Michael Stutz, 24 years of age, from Oregon. He was an 11th rounder for the Phillies 3 years ago. This is his rookie season. And he went to Santa Clara University in California, then on to Oregon State.
Fastball slider change from Stutz.
Lance Nix 1 for 3 with a base hit. So is Jason Worth, and so is Danny Espinoza.
Get some base runners, see what happens. Maybe you get somebody else up in the Phillies pen. Everything we've seen all season long is they make it interesting in the ninth.
Nix with a check swing. He did hold off.
Good take right there. 2-1 count. You're down by 5 runs, and you're thinking there's no way he's going to throw me a 2-1 slider. He does, and you take it. That's a good take.
Right side and a big hop to Utley. Kind of an interesting series so far. The Phillies have only scored runs in 3 innings of 18 played so far. But it's been a 4, a 2, and a 3. And the Nats have been battling back from behind both nights. So here's Jason Worth, who's 1 for 3. And Philly fans will get in one more round of boos before they head out. That's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner.
I just thought of something. If Steven Strasburg comes back, if everything goes well, knock on wood, in September, I wonder if the crowd's going to be like this. That would be awesome.
Well, we've seen it. No reason why it couldn't be. A record crowd of 44,685 tonight, obliterating the previous high by almost 3,000. Roy Halladay, Chin-Ming Wong tomorrow, 1:35 first pitch. And Jason Worth awaits a 1-2 here with 1 out in the ninth. He'll just foul tip it and stay alive. If the Phillies hold on to win it, they'll be ahead in the season series 8-5. But the 8 games in this ballpark will be dead even. Worth will stay alive on another 1-2 pitch. Well, the Nats will stay ahead of the Mets and the Marlins tonight. Atlanta about to beat Arizona 8-1. And the Marlins are down 4-0 at San Diego. The Mets have lost their game at home. And Worth will be called out on strikes. Last hope for the Nats, Danny Espinosa. And a bouncer by the pitcher, but it hit Danny in the foot, and a foul ball, strike 1.
That ball went a long way off Danny Espinosa's foot. See where it got him. Just right off the toe. A piece of dirt got Dale Scott in the eye. Sometimes when a ball hits the dirt, maybe a little shrapnel there. Some of the dirt came up and hit him right in the eye. He's still rubbing his eye, trying to get that thing clean.
And a 1-1 is just a little bit outside. Nationals were not shut out the entire month of July. They've now gone 20 days into August without it happening. June 29th, the last time Washington did not score a run. Espinosa swinging a miss. That was a 1-0 loss at Anaheim against the Angels. Phillies on the verge of their 81st win of the year. Danny will pull it. Fair ball. Ryan Howard. And this one is over as the Phillies draw even in the series with a 5-0 shutout of the Nats. On 8 hits. We'll have some more to talk about in the postgame. For FP and Debbie, Bob Carpenter. First shutout in quite a while. Join us Sunday for the finale. It'll be Halladay and Wong. This has been a presentation of Masson. Stay tuned. Nats Extra straight ahead and from the booth. So long for just a while.